Thrustmaster. 5500. Prevent. Rotate.
Well, hello, good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to have you on board today on this Tuesday morning, or actually, where am I at? Tuesday afternoon, 1 o'clock local time here in Texas. Coming at you from the V1 HQ, doing a little surprise stream today. Wasn't really planning on streaming today. Had some things open up. Decided, you know what, let's get another stream in there. I was thinking, what should I fly? Put a poll up for the commercial members. It was between the Tolis 319 and the FlyByWire Neo. And in true V1 member action, y'all were 50% on the poll. So after about, I don't know, an hour or so, I decided to just go with the fly-by-wire, and then eventually the fly-by-wire ended up winning by a very slim margin. So shout out to everybody who participated in the poll. Thank you for that. For all my commercial members, you guys are awesome. Callie Simmer starting off the chat with another bang. 10 gifted subs in the house. If you pick up a gifted sub, shout out Callie Simmer. Thank you for the support, man. Very appreciative of that. Absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. Guys, if you get a new membership, exclamation point welcome for you new perks here on the channel. And again, Callie Simmer, I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much for that. It's very, very kind of you. Yes, we are in the experimental version of the FlyByWire A320 Neo today. I've updated it. I've got SimBridge running, even though against my better judgment, because I think it will cause a stutter, but we're gonna give it a shot. It's the latest experimental. Everything's up to date, ready to go. We're gonna fly a short route today with vSpirit Airlines, a virtual Spirit Airlines that we are a part of, and we're going to take it up to Oakland, California. So a little bit rainy, cloudy here at departure. Should be a nice rainy, cloudy arrival into Oaklandia. Scott, good to see you, my friend. Ken LeMay, good to see you. Callie Simmer, always a pleasure. Mr. Martini, Bone King 1, Squiggy 1, Austin Powers, As a new member, welcome to the channel. Chris Duper, good to see you, my friend. Milltown24, Minfom, RC Flyer, David Isaac, John No, Zach Lewine, Sam F, popping in and out. Good to see you, my friend. Douglas Phillips, Alexandra Bellini, A Cicada, get some rest, my friend. Thanks for popping in. Joe Johnson, Minfom, Luminosifer, Feather. Man, I have a hard time with that name. Martin Beck, Ron Hastings in the house. Good to see you. Paul Shoesmith also up there on the top. If I missed your name, I apologize. Robin H also in the house with his 2-year membership wings, looking absolutely fantastic. I don't know why we got Surveyor coming here. I should have done LSG or whatever. Yeah, LSG Sky Chefs. That's all right though. We got the Surveyor at the gate. We're getting catered for our short flight up to Oakland. We're doing a Flaps 3 Toga short field performance. We're going to go over that real world procedures for the A320 operations here at a John Wayne. So we'll talk a little bit more about that when it is time. But without further ado, let me unpause the alert box now. And Jacobs, thank you for your continued support. There's a commercial pilot, man. Appreciate it. He says, let's go indeed. Flaps 3 Toga, it is the turtle. We'll talk about that here. We'll talk about that here as soon as we get to get a little bit closer to what we're doing. But right now, let's enjoy some fly-by-wire sounds. We love the sounds of fly-by-wire. I haven't flown this airplane at all since the last time we flew it, so it's always fun to get in and see what has been updated with the latest and greatest information. So fly-by-wire has a Wi-Fi antenna. Douglas Phillips, yes, I saw that on the menu here, and I just turned it on, and sure enough, there is indeed a Wi-Fi antenna now on top of the aircraft, which is pretty cool. I believe all the 320 Neos that Spirit have operating are also carrying Wi-Fi antennas. So a little add to the realism there. Pretty cool to see that. I wish this sharklet over here was painted, but I think that's just a livery thing. So before we get started too far, let me make sure I have my VAMSys up and running. Here we go. So here is our booking for today's flight, vSpirit. We're going to go ahead and start the flight. Good thing I double checked this. We'll go ahead and start flight right now. We're departing from stand 19, and you can see here our booking is Santa Ana, Oakland, and 1 hour 24 minutes. There's our route of flight, which is not what we have filed, but that's fine. We'll take what we have filed and everything else there. As far as the map is concerned, any other vSpiriters out with us today? We got somebody out here flying Los Angeles to MCI. That's pretty cool. We got Andrew King, Detroit to MSY, and we got someone down south here going to Skibo. Ooh, a Bogota. What airplane is he taking down there? He is taking a 613. That's a standard 320 aircraft down to Bogota. So pretty cool to see that. Fellow Spiriters out there. But yeah, since our booking is good to go and our operational flight plan is loaded, this is where I'll be getting my information, double checking our ramp fuel and all that stuff. I think I overfilled us to 10,000, but that's okay. So everything else looks good there. I'll get this off the screen, but we are rocking the vSpirit. And if you have interest in vSpirit today, exclamation point vSpirit will take you right to the website. Great group of guys. Highly recommend this virtual airline as well as their other VAs that they have. So RC Flyer, thank you for the support. Says, thanks V1. Yesterday's stream was awesome, although I couldn't catch it live. Hey man, no worries. Glad you got to catch the replay. I had a lot of fun yesterday. Today's going to be much more chill, much more laid back. Hopefully, fingers crossed, right? No emergencies. All right, so let's go ahead and bump the sim sounds up. Let's take a listen to the fly-by-wire sounds. Power that up. Let's get the dome light on here. Let's get the integral lighting up as well. Lauren V2500, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you on board. Unrealistic. 80% of the Spirit flights I've been on, that thing is broken. Yeah, I've heard. You know, I've never understood why Wi-Fi on airplanes is so challenging to get. Like, you would think that Wi-Fi on board an airplane would be extremely fast just because you're that much closer to satellites and stuff. I mean, it's only, think about it, if you're at 39,000 feet, at the highest the Airbus will go, I mean, that's a couple miles closer. There's no obstructions. Like, you would think, theoretically, getting internet in flight wouldn't be that much of a challenge. And I think almost every airline has Wi-Fi now, but typically it's not very good. I can't think of any like just totally awesome Wi-Fi on board an airplane. Maybe, I don't know, I just don't fly enough like in the back to worry about it. But I guess, yeah, I don't know. You guys tell me. What airline has the best Wi-Fi out there in the U.S.? What has the best Wi-Fi? You would think it would be really good and fast. I think the last time I had decent Wi-Fi was on Southwest, believe it or not. sitting in the back, and I was actually watching a football game a couple years ago. Sim Aviator in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Sim Aviator, I caught your landing last night into, was it LAX? Can't remember where it was. Was it LAX? I saw you land on that Toga 321, man. Not bad at all, not bad at all. Good to have you on board, Sim Aviator. Welcome to the stream, my friend. I bet you're excited, and I think you've probably heard of that Toga 320 news. Somebody posted that in the Discord as well last night, which is pretty cool. Toga's come out with a 320 Neo on X-Plane 12, so always looking for a reason to jump into that other sim. That might be the reason itself. Okay, here we go. Let's get the airplane fired up before we talk too long. I could sit here and just chat with you guys all day because I feel like even though we streamed yesterday, I didn't get to hang out with you guys very much. I just was constantly reading ECAMs and doing a bunch of nonsense, trying to keep the airplane alive. So JetBlue has it. Delta by far. Interesting. Best Wi-Fi on Delta. I haven't had any opportunities to do any Delta Wi-Fi recently, so I'm not sure. Aaron says, I think airplane Wi-Fi in the States is based on ground. Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea, Aaron. I wouldn't know. All right, we'll go strobe to auto, nav position 1. That's coming on. That's coming to the arm position. Let's do a test here. Wow. It's loud. Let me turn down just a little bit. There we go, and everything else looks good on that overhead. Beautiful. Phantom 320 already did our overhead. Now, I do this every time, and I tell myself I'm going to refresh my memory before I start the stream, but I'm pretty sure we do this here, and then we do all of the boarding via the EFB. So that's done. We've uplinked our flight plan. There we go. Pretty simple. I do love that feature, honestly. I really do like that feature. I had a funny text message from my friend the other day. So a lot of our fleet, especially all the new Airbuses that are coming out for where I work personally, are coming with CPDLC functions. And as you've probably heard here in the U.S., there's been several airlines as of late that have just issued a ton of different procedures, cockpit procedures, whether it be call outs or things of that sort, and they just gave you here's a read file on it, read the information and do all the new procedures without any like real, I guess, quote unquote training. Not that it would be necessary per se, but he sent me a picture of a CPDLC on the on this thing here, on what is this thing, the DCDU, and he's like, well, I really wish I read that read file because I'm not sure how to accept the message. But I mean, he was just kidding. It was just kind of funny that we're actually, it's kind of cool, get to see them going in full action here as the US finally catches up with the rest of the world. And I'm pretty sure Europe has had CPDLC and DCDUs pretty much standard for a very, very long time. In fact, the corporate jets that I flew were actually had better tech, and we were using the text messaging in corporate jets long before most of the airlines got them here. Frontier used to have DirecTV and maybe Wi-Fi, but they've ripped the SATCOMs out. Ouch. That'd be cool, DirecTV up there. All right, let's go ahead and finish what we were doing. What are we doing here? We got that loaded. Let's do a quick systems check. Let's go here, check our hydraulics. That's good. Fuel page. Now, I'm interested about this. So I was about a month ago, year old, when I found out that the 320 APU fuel valve is actually depicted, and it actually will turn green when you turn on the APU. I don't know why. Maybe I just never had the fuel page up when I started the APU, but just recently, I think I posted a shorts video to my members. I had the fuel page up, and when I fired up the APU, and sure enough, you see this thing turn green, the APU fires up. It's pretty cool. So I think it was mostly due to the fact that I've never really had the fuel page up when I start the APU, but we'll test that today when we do fire up the APU itself. But everything else looks there. We got enough cockpit oxygen. We got the 2 bottles. That's a little minor difference there in the 320 check ride question for you guys going to go get type rated. This is different because the Neos have 2 cockpit oxygen bottles. And of course, pressurization, landing elevation is in auto. So that looks good, and oil quantities are good there. So that looks good. We'll mess with the rest of the flight plan, check our flow out. That is all done. Now, before we do flight planning, let's come over here, and I'm going to go ahead and fill payload information from SimBrief real time and do that. Okay, now I want to do this. Begin boarding. Execute. Beautiful. So we're going to start boarding from here, which is pretty cool. Now, I think theoretically I can also start boarding from GSX for visuals. So I think we're getting there. We're coming along. I'm learning. Hey V1, is fly-by-wire the LEAP engines? These are LEAP engines, correct. What pump is on? I feel like it sounds like there's a pump on. Oh, was it the door opening up? Hold on. Hold the phone. What's going on here? Let me go hydraulic page. Why is our yellow electric pump on? Are they opening cargo doors? Okay, so the doors are open. And now they're opening the aft door.
Pilot's boarding started.
What's going on here? They are. Wow! That's pretty cool. Didn't notice that before. I'm sure it's probably already been implemented, but that's just something. I zoomed back to that wing view. I'm like, why is the electric pump running? Sure enough, it was running because I called GSX and they went and opened up the boarding doors. Or I don't know if it's because I called GSX or hit the boarding process over here. But either way, that was pretty cool. Had the that was the electric pump outside that's accessible to the ground crew to open the cargo doors. So pretty cool to see that. Love that tiny little detail. I mean, that totally caught me off guard, which is pretty sweet. All right, where are we here? If we started boarding, let's double check our route. Remember, anytime you get a CP DLC, it's going to leave out your runway of departure and your arrival. Basically, the ends of both flight plans. Runways on both sides, stars and SIDS will always be left out. So you got to put them in manually, just like in real life. We are going to depart off of 20 right, of course. 20 right, and we are on the Hero 3 departure. Hero 3 departure, and we're going out to the Orsa's transition. We'll insert that. And then going into Oakland, we're going to pick up the Emzo 3. Not quite sure what they're landing in Oak right now. Let's plan for a 3-0 though. Hold on, I got an important text message. Stand by. Alright, sorry, just a lot of stuff going on. Sorry, I had to get rid of that. So let's plan for 3-0 on the approach, ILS 3-0, and we're on the Emzo 3, and we're coming down on the R Good, which is not an approach via. I don't see R Good there. There it is. I had an arrow right. R Good. Insert that. Must be a fails thing. All right. Flight plan should be in the box. Simivier, I agree with you, man. Underrated since the Phoenix came out. You know what? You're not wrong, Simivier. This airplane has come quite a long way, and it does get I guess kind of covered up by the Phoenix, but it is still a very capable airplane, and hopefully we'll get a full display of that today. All right, there's that departure procedure. It's kind of weird. Sends us out, then back to the right, all the way into Oakland. That all looks good. Our flight plan's in the box. We'll go ahead and zoom that back down. Put constraint modes on. Hit the magic barrel ref key, 3004 both sides. That checks. Flight plan's done. Nothing in the secondary. Init B. We're going to get this information when it is done. However, we can put our fuel in there right now, which is 10.9. Let's double check. It's balanced. Yes, it is. So, with that being said, we'll get our fuel pumps on. Seatbelt sign on, and we'll put 10.9 here in the block fuel right there. Dunzo. Now you can probably hear there's the fuel pump sound I was looking for. Nice little rain coming in over the airplane here, over the airfield here. Beautiful, beautiful. I'll need to use a fly-by-wire for my next vSpirit flight. Tony Johns. Yeah, man. You know, you want to fly a Neo, this is the one to fly. All right, so what's our departure time? I have a feeling P Monitor is going to be upset with me because I'm going to be late already. I don't think I have an on-time departure within the last like 5 flights I've done. 1903. Oh yeah, we smoked that one. So we're late. So let's go ahead and fire up the APU right now. Now let's keep the fuel page open, and I'm going to hit the APU master switch. And then Make sure there's our flap open, so that looks good. And let's go ahead and start the APU. Aha! Found something not yet implemented. Uh-oh. What's that? PDC from LA Center. Beautiful. Oh, wait. Disregard. There it is. Except on my airplane, this was a solid triangle. But very cool. There you go. APU fuel in line. APU spinning up. Let's take a listen. Very cool to see that. I thought it wasn't going to be modeled. How dare me? It turned green. It sure did. It sure did turn green. That's pretty cool. I don't know why I've never noticed that before. Flame says, I can't wait for the new model. I'd fly it every day if I had one. Oh, man. When the Fly-by-Wire gets a new model, which who knows when that'll be, but, I mean, you have yourself a full... I think that's most people's gripes in the current day and age of the Fly-by-Wires. It's the default Azogo model. So when they do finally get their own model, shoot, man.
V1, have you flown out of John Wayne IRL? Quite nerve-wracking in my opinion. Steep takeoff and quick pullback on engines due to short runway and strict noise abatement. My stomach drops every time. Lol.
Kelly Simmer, thank you so much for that $5 bank angle check right back at you, my friend. Yes, indeed, I've flown out of here many times. In fact, one of my early on flights as a young captain was in and out of John Wayne, and it was it's pretty interesting because the winds were pretty rough, and we had the Santa Ana winds and all that. But yeah, I've been out of here quite a few times now. Matter of fact, my best friend from grade school still lives out here in that Santa Ana, Orange County area. So every time I do get to come out here, I'll go hang out with him. But yes, and we're going to talk exactly why your stomach drops and what happens when we get to the noise abatement procedure. But you're absolutely right. There is a performance restriction for noise abatement, and we're going to get to that here when we do our departure brief, and it'll explain exactly why you feel what you feel. It's nothing to worry about. I mean, us as pilots, everybody loves taking off at a John Wayne. You finally get to harness the full power of your airplane, and especially I got to do it in a Neo empty during COVID times. I mean, we had 10 people on, I think less than 10 people on board the airplane, and we were doing John Wayne back to, I can't remember if we were going to Vegas or Phoenix, but basically not a lot of gas on board. So it was a light airplane, and you still have to do the performance takeoff, even though you may not necessarily need it. We still do it, and man, you go full Toga, a light airplane like that, it is fun indeed. So I'll get to that here in a minute. But yes, everything looks good. It sounds good out there. We do have our PVC. Let's get the squawk code in there. We're cleared to Oakland, Beacon 1057, as file, climb via 3005, 355, contact ground control 3555 when ready for push. End of message. Beautiful. So our squawk code is 1057. I like that. 1057. That looks good. We're in number 1 there. So that is good. We're going to start the chrono anyway. I should have started that when the APU started up. We'll get rid of the fuel page. No longer need that. Everything is done in here. We're going to climb via the SID. So let's go over to our Navigraph. We'll go here, and we're on the Hero 3. And climb via assigned by ATC. So we don't have any assignment then if we're not assigned by ATC. So we'll just set our top altitude of 300 in the box here. Now let's see if I can clear out these. Okay, so we still have that speed 100 there. That's because we don't have our init in, but that's fine. We got 300 set at the top altitude. We'll climb via. We'll do our departure brief here momentarily. We're waiting for people to finish boarding. And let's tackle a departure brief here. Just a minute. The center is 3555 for push. So we'll also put him down here. 13555. I like how much snappier, or not snappier, but I feel like I can scroll these VHFs quicker than I can on the Phoenix, which is pretty cool. All right. Sorry guys, I got one more message I gotta get to. Just craziness. Okay, top altitude varies on depending which SoCal sector is covering at the time. If it's straight center, they probably are cool with climbing via all the way to cruise. Good to know. I will take it then. All right, let's talk about the noise abatement departure procedure in John Wayne and why it's so fun and why everybody hears it. Now, I don't know if there's an actual briefing page in here. Airport info, ODP. So all my stuff is company charts, which unfortunately I'm not at the liberty to fully share with you guys, but I'm going to read it to you. And this is kind of what we have to deal with here. So obviously we're going to be taking off 20 right. It's the only run that we can take off from. Some maneuvering constraints here. It's very tight. There's not a lot of room here in John Wayne. So it's recommended to do a 2-engine taxi. So we'll push back. We'll go tail to the right. 2-engine start. We'll taxi via Alpha. Hold short of Lima. Then we'll expect the clearance to cross. Hold short of 20 right. And then we'll blast off 20 right. When we get to 20 right, we need to input a thrust reduction and acceleration altitude. Now, the whole reason we're going to do any of this is because of noise. So, airport was in John Wayne for a long, long time. Then a lot of rich people moved in, and then they said they didn't like the noise of the airport and that the airport should do something about it. So, what we have to do as pilots now is we have to do what's called a max performance takeoff to get up above a certain altitude to reduce the noise, and then we're going to immediately come back to a reduced thrust setting or our climb thrust setting at a lower than typical altitude, and then we're going to just kind of coast at that thrust setting and a slightly lower pitch attitude, and then eventually we'll accelerate. So the way we put this in the box is our thrust reduction, instead of it being typically 1,000 feet above the field or 1,500, whatever your SOP country is, for us about 1,000 feet traditionally, we're going to lower that to 860 feet on the reduction. Now, hopefully it won't keep a format error. We should be able to put them in independently, but we'll try to do the whole thing. The acceleration altitude is also going to be raised up to 3060, which is essentially 3,000 feet. So it's not letting me put it in there, which is going to be interesting. Hopefully, maybe after we get our final numbers, I'll be able to modify this. If not, we'll just have to do it manually. So our takeoff profile is going to be very steep initially. We're going to climb at flaps 3 Toga thrust to 860 feet, at which point we are going to immediately reduce our power setting to climb thrust at 860 feet, and then pitch for our V2, basically anywhere between V2 plus 10, climb out until reaching 3060, at which point then we're going to lower the nose all the way down to our acceleration pitch, and we're going to go all the way up to 250 knots, whatever ATC assigns us. So it's, if you were to draw it out on a board, as a matter of fact, I can do that for you. Let's do this. Let's do this, yeah. So I can show you. You can feel your stomach floating already. Exactly. And the reason you feel your stomach floating is that mostly that initial reduction. You're probably not used to a super steep max performance takeoff because it's not typically done unless deemed necessary by performance. And typically that's very rare, other than when you get into noise abatement scenarios. So then we're going to have a mark here at 800. I'm drawing this out on the whiteboard for you so you'll be able to see it. And then we're going to come out here to 3,000 feet. Beautiful. There we go. And then on this one here, we got a mark here and here. V2 plus 10 here. Take off, thrust, and then accelerate. So if I show you on my fancy whiteboard here, if you guys remember from the long haul stream days. So we're going to have a very aggressive flaps 3 Toga takeoff to 800 feet. At that point, instead of having a nice smooth waiting until acceleration, we're going to come straight back to our climb thrust, lower the nose to pitch for V2 plus 10. We're going to hold that until reaching 3,000 feet. At 3,000 feet, then we're going to go ahead and begin our acceleration, which will include our speed up and cleanup. So we won't be retracting any flaps or touching any flaps until at least 3,000 feet.
On behalf of myself, your captain, the first officer, and cabin crew, I'd like to take this time to welcome you aboard our flight. We're just wrapping up some paperwork up front here and waiting to receive final numbers from the ground crew, then we'll be on our way. Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly with a very important safety briefing. We do ask that you give them your full, undivided attention as they review the safety operations of this Airbus aircraft. We do appreciate your business having you aboard this flight. If there's anything we do to make your flight any more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Welcome aboard.
Cool. So that guy sounded like he knows what he's talking about. So that's the lowdown. That's the departure briefing. It looks like we have completed our briefing already. Oh boy, here it comes.
Can't have those rich people be interrupted by noise as their landscaping team buzzes away with leaf blowers and weed whackers. Can we jettison some blue ice down on the hypocrites? Since we are at John Wayne, all palms require the cowboy accent.
Yes, sir. C2A, thank you so much, man, for your $5 bank angle check. Hey, man, every time I see your name pop up on that bank angle check, I hold my breath. I never know what you're going to say. Pretty hilarious, my friend. Thank you so much for the continued support. We'll have to get a little John Wayne on the comms there. I'll do my best for you, C2A. But thank you so much for your continued support, my friend. Let's go ahead and button this airplane up and get out of here. All right, so we're doing a flaps 3, no flex. Will I be able to do this here like this? 123. Well, give me a V1 speed, 122. Now I'm curious if it will allow me to do this like this. No, it won't let me do it there. So let me try one other thing here. Let me go over to settings, and would it be not realism? I don't know if I'd be able to. I know I saw an option in here. Give me a second. Aircraft options. Okay, thrust reduction. We're going to change this to 860. Acceleration is 3060. Our single engine will remain at 1500. Okay, so if we pop an engine, all bets are off. Everyone's going to be pissed off. So I'm curious now if, I don't know if it will change, but at least I have it in there. Who knows? We'll have to do it manually if it doesn't work. Oh, try 080. Let me try that. Let me try that. Let me try 3 digits. What is it? 0860 and 3060. Boom. Thank you. Whoever said that. Who was that? Lazarus Lonitis. Appreciate you, man. Got it. There it is. It just needed the extra 0. All right, so not a big deal. It's probably a Thales thing. Who knows? We're doing flaps 3, Toga, no flex, packs off as well. Shaq Oatmeal, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you on board, my friend. You're about to witness some absolute spice coming out of John Wayne. So we're well over 3 minutes there on our APU bleed. Let's go ahead and get the bleed on. We'll disconnect from external power. Put some air flowing into the cabin here. You guys have been briefed. I've been briefed. It is a mountainous terrain close by, so we'll get our terrain radar on. It is working via SimBridge, which is cool. Everything else looks good. We've got a good squawk code. We'll put him over on COM 1. And I think we're just about ready to go.
Dynasty 137, fly runway heading, wind 160.
We got a southwest over there. Let me come into
runway
this.
Heading, runway 09, they will take off then.
Where is it? Where is the ground?
999 Delta Sierra. Radar contact. Turn right. Along the coast. Maintain VFR altitude. VFR along the coast. Data VFR altitude 900 Delta Sierra.
I thought there was a way to get rid of that.
LA Center Southwest 198 at John Wayne, ready to taxi.
South 198, runway 20 right, taxi via Alpha Lima, cross 20 left.
Taxi via Alpha Lima, cross 20 left.
We'll do this. Chalks is here with beacon light. Thank you, Chaos.
Southwest 148, contact tower 120.95.
Beautiful.
Flight attendants, arm doors, and cross-check.
Sounds kind of hot.
9980, right turn 220, maintain 5,000.
Canyon Runner 331. Thank you for the $5 super chat, my friend. Showing my dad your stream for the first time. He is hooked. Canyon Runner. Awesome, man. Well, Canyon Runner's dad, welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy the content here as we perform a max performance takeoff in an Airbus out of John Wayne. Flight 477 also in the chat. What's going on, man? Good to see you. All right. I love this part. Watch this. Wrong way. That's the best part about, I shouldn't say that, but I've told many of you on stream and in Discord board that, you know, flying commercial airplanes, a lot of times the easiest part is as soon as that door is closed and it's just me and the first officer up here and we're going to go flying. That's the easiest part. You know, a lot of the complications and high stress comes from dealing with paperwork or dealing with stuff on the ground, dealing with passenger issues, like all that stuff that's not flying related. That is what gets really taxing. So when you can finally close that cockpit door and you're just like, all right, let's do our brief and get out of here. That's when it really sets in. Like, hey, let's go flying. So I'm gonna stand by on this because I got to call him for push. Keko, what's going on, man? Good day it is to be flying the vSpirit, isn't it? I gotta get a word in with this guy. We are on 35.5, call him for push, and we're gate 21. Doors and windows are closing on, beacon on, thrust levers, idle parking brake is set. Before start checklist is complete. I'll put the tiller cam up here. And you can, they're doing their things. Let's see, LA Center, good afternoon. Spirit Wings 2901. We're at gate 21 and John Wayne, ready to push.
Spirit 2901, push to start approved, tail to the right on the taxiway Alpha.
Tail right, taxiway Alpha, clear to push, Spirit Wings 2901. All right, nose left, tail right, here we go.
You're going to have to turn around 180 degrees and stop down on Alpha, make a right on the
Look at that rain moving in. How cool is that? This is. I love this sim, man. I love this sim.
Presidential 69.
UFO is an 8-month baby blue telling you about a CJO with Daddy Delta. Now he's going to put this because he wants his 11K.
Left turn,
oh my
direct
goodness.
Clipper, join the Orca 5 departure. Climb and maintain level 330.
Brakes released, clear to push.
Left turn, Clipper, and level 230 for Delta 250.
That's 330. Brake, 112 Tango Mike.
Let's get out of here.
Turn.
Flaps 3 Toga packs off. You guys have seen this on the channel many times. Quick reference for those that aren't familiar. A packs off takeoff. It's going to allow us to get maximum performance from the engines. There's two ways to accomplish this, with either physically selecting both packs off or leaving the APU bleed on. In this particular scenario, we're going to leave the APU bleed on. What? That's not the push I wanted. It's going to have to work, though. Brake set. That's gonna. We can turn out. Man, this guy's busy. Let's go ahead and turn him off for a second. Let's go ahead and fire up the engines, though. APU bleed is on, and we're gonna do an engine start from right here in the rain. Ignition switch to an engine start. Turning 1. I'm gonna be quiet. Enjoy the best startup sounds of a 320 Neo that you'll ever hear on a sim anywhere in the world, any platform, right now. I smile every single time I start this airplane. Dennis, Airbus Simmer, first of all, love from Germany. Thank you so much, man. Glad you're enjoying the content. Do you prefer CEOs or Neos in real life? You know what? I like what the Neos are doing. I still kind of, if I had to pick one though, I love my 319 CEO just because it's becoming more of a rarity. I think, you know, eventually we're going to just see Neos everywhere. So I still like a little bit of the old school. I say old school, but the current engine option. Either way, though, I mean, they're both phenomenal airplanes. Let's go ahead and turn 2. We're going to do a 2-engine taxi. Oh, that PTU is spice. No dual cooling. I forgot that. Well, see, that's why I don't start engines, man. I'm not qualified to start engines anymore once you become a captain. It's the FO's job, so I forgot the dual cooling. And we're on, and actually, they're not on this particular model. So Spirit has Pratt & Whitney's. These CFMs don't have dual cooling, if I'm correct. Flight Force, I'm on experimental, the very latest, very latest experimental version. I mean, the sounds is just so good, man. Like, it sounds better than real life. I don't even know how it's possible. Oh, look at that Southwest getting it right there. Come on. That's cool. Into the haze and rain he goes. See, now look, about 5 minutes ago we had that huge rain band move through here. Now it's just kind of lightened up, no rain and some mist. It's just these rain bands keep moving through the area. I love that simulation. Opinions on the 320 Neo from Tola's Shack? Man, I can't wait. I can't wait to give it a shot. I've been telling you guys for a while. I've been waiting for a reason to get back into 12, and that for sure is a reason. All right, we got 2 good starts. We're going to go back to normal. We'll arm this. We're going to go ahead and extend flaps 3. Leaps do have an additional dry motoring period on first start of the day, but automatic and unsure if fly-by-wire. So that's gotcha, Lauren. Thank you. Dropping the knowledge bomb. Yeah, so in the Pratt & Whitney's, there is a dual cooling push button up here. And in fact, these N1 mode switches would not be here because it is a Neo that's already an N1. So either way, that works. We're going to leave the APU bleed on after start, though, because that's going to handle the bleed system. We're going to be using, that accomplishes the same performance as packs off. So we're going to leave it on. I'll set the cabin temps to where they need to be. Everything looks good on the overhead there. We're flaps 3. We got our speeds. And
left turn direct clipper. Join the
let's call for taxi.
Left turn to Clipper, Charles 10 North 65.
South 198 Los Angeles Center. How do you hear?
LA Center, Springs 2901 off 21, ready to taxi with Victor.
Nine 2569 Los Angeles Center. Good morning. Climb maintain level 390.
I'm going to turn here real quick because we were supposed to be tailed the other direction.
Comet 53, radar contact, maintain 7,000, proceed on course.
Okay, up to 7,000, we're passing through 6,000 now for Tom 53.
United 9980, contact tower 120.95.
Center, can you air 14 going 6 right of the Burbank IFR to Turkey?
We're just going to get on Alpha because it technically told us to be tail west on Alpha, so we'll do that here, and then we'll stop.
Oh, we have Delta board ready, taxi 15
Alright, 42 Tango, X-ray runway 15, taxi via Bravo.
Alright, 15 via Bravo,
getting that little bit of stutter there, you see that?
Left turn 1.
Hopefully it's just because we're turning around here on the ground. While we wait for him, let's go ahead and do our checks. Flight controls full up. Full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left,
on the localizer,
full right, neutral.
Make a left turn 220 and intercept the 25 left localizer.
I think it was pretty much that.
Maintain
2 should be fine. That's good. We'll go auto brakes, max, takeoff config is checked, and cabin.
And intercept the 25 left localizer.
Intercepting the 25 left localizer, Emirates 5-1.
United 23 Lima, continue present heading. I'm giving you a turn here shortly.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Cool. We needed my ears emote. I know, Robin.
And 2017.
V1, hope you're having a good start to the new year. All the best to you and yours. Eagle 1, I appreciate that. Thank you, man. You as well, dude. So far, the new year has been good, my friend. New year has been good. It'd be a lot better if we can taxi out here before the end of tomorrow.
FedEx 1454, Los Angeles Center, squawk 0517 ident.
At least the rain stopped. What's the outside air temp? Plus 14, no engine and ice needed.
120.950, Emirates 5-1.
United 23 Lima, left turn direct clipper. Join the Orca.
Pilot hiccups before takeoff, always a good sign.
Flight level 290. Left turn direct clipper, joining the Orca 5 departure. Brad 65, climb and maintain level 330.
Climbing, maintain 330.
Well, at least we get our engine warm up. And LA Center, Spirit Wings 2901 on the ground, John 1, ready, taxi Yankee.
Spirit 2901, runway 20 right, taxi via Alpha Lima, cross 20 left.
20 right, Alpha Lima, clear across 20 left, Spirit Wings 2901. All right, all the way to the end. Let's do it. We've done our checks. Everything is good. Taxi light is coming on. And, oh, the sun's peeking out a little bit. How cool is that? Oh, yeah.
Got 3322, radar contact, continue heading 236. Want to maintain 1.
What an awesome pilot voice on the fly-by-wire.
Del 2997.
Never heard of him. Oh yeah, though. See that stutter though? I hope
Del
that
2997.
it's just because we're on the ground.
Maintain level 300.
Can you take off from 20 left? At a certain weight, you probably could if you're empty. In real life, though, no airlines take off from 20 left.
Airport 2 Tango.
I'm not saying it's physically impossible, but it's tight, man. It's only like 2,000 feet or something like that. All right, 20 left, or 20 right. Cleared across 20 left via Alpha and Lima. So final looks clear. That stutter is your default Microsoft experience? Oh, man.
Negative.
I normally don't. It's just sometimes in this airplane, and I don't know if it's has to do with SimBridge or not. We'll see once we get airborne. All right, cleared across 20 left. We'll hold short of 20 right.
375 Los Angeles Center, squawk 3.
If you're Harrison Ford, you just land. Yeah, exactly. You don't even need a runway. Now this is always a spicy one because it's pretty tight. You got to get right up on it. You got to get right up on the hold short line so your tail is clear. So in real life, this is pretty tight.
And 307 Los Angeles Center, squawk 1455.
Most of the time, they'll hold you over here, short of 20 left. They won't hold airplanes here just because it is so tight.
National 69, leave my airspace east, radar service terminated, frequency change approved, special advisory west 218. Yeah, 2017 radar contact, climb on course.
Man, this guy's pretty busy. A lot of people flying around today. Let's see, hell, we got 500 viewers. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you all on board. We only have 153 likes, though. Let's go ahead and smash down that like button. You get to see a max performance takeoff. Packs off. Smash down that like button for the stream. You guys help me out. Helps the channel out. And if you like the content, don't forget to subscribe as well while you're smashing the like button. B1, take it easy. Got to throw it on the monkey suit. Heading out to Phoenix tonight. Kako, man, take it easy. Best of luck to you, my friend. Hopefully I don't get a call later to join you. But enjoy your trip, my friend. And LA Spirit Wings 2901, hold short 20 right, ready for departure.
2884, radar contact 15 miles south.
No, it's not what I said.
Descend Disney 5.
300 likes for Toga, otherwise flex. Well, we can't flex. We have to go Toga. So now I'm just asking out of the goodness of my heart. I can't hold you hostage on this one because we actually need the performance.
Wind 230 at 8, gust 16, runway 20 right, clear for takeoff.
20 right, clear for takeoff, Spirit Wings 2901. All right, let's go. Brakes off. Now remember,
radar contact, turn right, heading
we got to use as much runway as possible here.
Then on course, climbing, take a little 2.
Now I'm not terribly concerned with our weight, but I mean either way, it's good practice to use as much runway as possible. So we're going to try to get a good lineup here. It's always hard when I don't have track IR on. But typically, if you go just a few stripes past that center line, we should get a nice, sweet turn here. Line her up like so. Crank that tiller over. Let that nose wheel turn. Oh, that's pretty good. Oh shoot, that's almost professional status right there. Look at that. All right, Yoga's in chat. Smash down that yoga button. I'm going nose forward on the stick, spooling them up 50. Here we go. Oh, we got announcements going on.
Also going into the tubes on both sides. A locator light on the shoulder will turn on automatically and weather and over different please press inside the aircraft.
Here we go. Oh, they're ripping. Man, Toga, SRS, runway, auto thrust, blue. Listen to that pitch. Thrust set. 100 knots, check. V1. Rotate. 3 degrees per second, right into the command bars. Positive rate, gear up. Navin. Fly with. Oh, that's awesome. Keep it going, keep it going. There's 860, right back to the climb, D10. Thrust climb, climb auto thrust. Maintain that SRS pitch.
If you have any questions on the safety features of this aircraft, don't hesitate to ask.
We're going to maintain this now for 3060. Just ripped right up there. And departure good afternoon, Spirit Wings 2901. We're 2.3 climbing via the departure. That's a long way.
Eagle Flight 1914,
long time.
18.1 from flight level 190.
All right, there's 3060. There is our thrust climb. Now this is acceleration, so here we're gonna nice gentle lower the nose here. Now we're gonna see that speed start to increase. As soon as we hit F speed at flaps 3, we're gonna go right to flaps 1. So nice positive trend there above F speed. Let's go straight into flaps 1.
FedEx 1454, I don't have radar contact on you. Your squawk code is 0517. Dynasty 137, descend and maintain 5,000.
Sick bags now available for $30. Turn the sim down a little bit. Wow, look at that rainbow right there. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. That is awesome. These clouds are spicy. Let me go XP72 view. Oh, yes. Right there.
Eagle Flight 1914 Los Angeles Center, good morning.
Speed out constraint star at 5,000, so let's go ahead and make sure we meet this constriction here instead of looking at clouds. Out constraint, there's S speed, flaps 0 after takeoff checklist. If I can find it, there it goes, flap 0.
Not today.
Maintain 5,000 until we pass the constraint. Thrust climb, up we go.
LA Center 9er Delta Sierra, looking to leave the cockpit, we'll call back.
Ooh, a double rainbow.
Delta Sierra.
Double rainbow means you need to hit double like button. Well, don't do that because then you would unlike.
Runway 2901, radar contact, altitude.
5.2, climbing 300, Springs 2901.
Runway 2901, altitude checks, fly maintain level 300.
Climb and maintain, flight level 300, Springs 2901. All right, with the climb and maintain, that relieves us of our constraint at 8,000. So I'm going to pull for open climb. So now we are thrust climb, open climb. I'm going to turn ATC down a little bit more. Thrust climb, open climb to 300. And we can go ahead and turn the APU lead off. We can go ahead and turn APU master switch off. And after takeoff checklist.
Yeah, I already gave you that. 1055.
Wow. Pretty sweet though. That is pretty sweet.
Alright, so 2884, expect ILS, runway 20 at approach.
She's flying pretty good. It feels pretty good on the hand flying there. We'll keep hand flying up here for a little bit longer. I love how you educate us while entertaining us. Never failed to make it a great stream. Thank you, Final Light. I appreciate you, man. All right, here comes 10,000 feet. We should accelerate here. There's our acceleration speed, or acceleration out, or there's our 10,000 speed. So we're going to go ahead and continue to accelerate. We'll get our lights off at this point because we don't want the seats to start vibrating. We'll hit the forward call button, let them know we're out of sterile. We'll come down here. We would copy the secondary And then we would monitor Delta operations on number 1, which is good. Overlay needs kick. Interesting. You know what? I'm pretty positive the overlay breaks with VAMSIS. I don't know why, or like with the vSpirit or any of the virtual airlines. Oh my goodness. Douglas Phillips has dropped a $50 super chat. If you have an emoji, if you have that green name tag, get some positive rates in chat for Mr. Douglas Phillips. Thank you so much for that $50 super chat. I don't see a message with it, man, but I appreciate your support. Very kind of you, very generous of you. Very much appreciative of that super chat, my friend. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, the real pilots will get that one. All right, I'm going to go auto. Actually, let's make this turn. Let's hand fly this turn here. We'll turn terrain mode off. We don't need it. We'll make the turn over Mika here. Nice little headwind, 70 knots already. Look at the performance of the airplane. I mean, this is not typical, but when you are flying into these types of winds here at low altitude, the airplane's going to climb. We're doing 4,000 feet a minute. We've got a 70 knot headwind. I'm also pitching up a little bit too much here. Lower that nose a tad. Get it back down about 250 knots or so. But everything else is checking out. Make sure we are pressurizing. Cabin is pressurizing. That is good. It's just a nice cruise climb. Let's go ahead and put it into a nice bank angle here off to the right. We'll get a little wing view as well. Oh, I love the Airbus, man. Well, good evening from rainy Denmark. Peter, the ATC. Good evening. Welcome aboard, man. Rainy California here as well. But just, I mean, I'd say I love the Airbus just because I'll fly it in real life as well. But I mean, it's such a good airplane. It really, truly is. And even after yesterday's stream, I mean, you're in a really bad spot there. No electrical generation, all the way down to your last emergency backup of the Rat. And it was really, other than me just talking nonstop about the ECAMs and trying to run ECAMs and comm procedures, the airplane was pretty much a non-event. I mean, you had to do a little bit of reducing your pilot oscillations on approach in direct law when the gear came down, but that really was it. And it's just such a robust, wonderful airplane to fly, and I love the representations that we have in the sim. They really are pretty good. We'll go into full screen live cam here, and I'm going to work on this overlay. I don't know why that is. I'm going to turn the sim down a little bit more too as we settle into our cruise. It's going to be a pretty short flight, actually. It's only 335 miles to Oakland, so we'll settle in here.
264, Los Angeles Center, good morning. Climb maintained level 2.
I don't get to watch these streams very often because my day job interferes with my time off. Ha. Well, Douglas Phillips, from someone who can understand the rarity and scarceness of free time these days, I really appreciate the time that you do take to be able to join the stream, join the chat, and of course, support the channel. So I do appreciate it. Time is a very it's a very hard thing to come by in life, especially as you get older and demands pick up. So I fully understand, and I appreciate every minute y'all get to spend with me here.
963 Foxtrot Echo is probably stepped on by other aircraft.
Stratocast, welcome to Private Pilot, sir. Exclamation point, welcome for your new perks on the channel. Glad to have you on board, man.
Yeah, whenever you get them.
The 320s are tanks. I saw that episode of the Land 320 went into two bad storms. Oh, was that the one that got the nose cone ripped up pretty good with the hail? Yeah, and here's another one that we haven't really talked about much, is that Land 320 that collided with that fire truck, and obviously it's a very unfortunate event that lost a life with the firemen. But with that being said, I mean, you have an Airbus going down the runway at near V1 speeds. I mean, they were high speed, completely demolished the gear in the engine, ripped the engine off. Airplane kind of pirouetted up, came back down, and slid to a stop, and nobody on the airplane was hurt. Now, it's obviously tragic and horrific that there was loss of life with the equipment and men in the fire trucks, but that's just another testament to Airbus. Like, man, this thing did a pretty good job. We tried that Toga's A320 in March. Tom, absolutely, man. I would love... I didn't even know that the TOLUS 320 was happening. I was speaking with somebody in DMs last night, and they posted me a message, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then I saw the official post that someone y'all posted on the Discord. And absolutely, man, I would love to see TOLUS's rendition of a 320 Neo in X-Plane. In X-Plane, there is no official 320 Neo. I mean, you have the 319, 321 from them, and the 321 Neo. You have the Flight Factor 320, which is, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, the Flight Factor in X-Plane 11 is better than the Flight Factor in X-Plane 12, for sure. So, and it's not even a Neo. So you really get a full 320 Neo. I'm looking forward to it. I really, really am. I think TOLUS has done a great job with the airplanes that they've already created in X-Plane. And I look forward to giving it a shot. Hopefully, maybe we'll even get an early preview. Who knows? I have no ties or no contractual agreements with TOLUS, but if I get an opportunity to show you guys some early access or anything like that of the TOLUS, I would be very, very happy and very, 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 very honored to as well. What's more fun to fly, 737 or 320? Kronos, that's a tough question. In a realistic scenario, day to day, what's more fun? In my opinion, the Airbus, because it's more comfortable, it's less noisy, it's just a better work environment all the way around. So when you get done flying your day job, it's a lot less, you feel a lot less beat down, in my opinion. Now, I've never flown the 737, but I've flown other yoke-driven aircraft on the same type of schedules, and it's just not the same, man. And being on the jump seat of that 737 3 days ago, whenever it was, just reminded me how good we have it in the Airbus. Like, you really have it really good in the Airbus. Your ETA and altitude look to be out of date. I'm going to... What's going on? Is it... I wonder if it's just delayed. What's it showing now? Let me see here. 300 nautical. No, it looks good. It looks good on my end. Maybe it's just delayed. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm sorry, I don't know why it's a little bit delayed up there, but we'll just have to deal with it. Let's check, make sure everything else is done there. Looks like a pretty smooth ride. We'll go ahead and get the seatbelt signs off here and cruise. And we'll make sure we are cruised out here as well. Cruise, we'll change this to 300. We'll settle in here for... Oh, that's a beautiful shot right there. I don't know which better. I think this one's better right here. ETA is gone and altitude is broken. Tell you what, let me reset. Let me try to restart it for you. Let me restart the fly live here.
South 198, leave my airspace north. Radar service terminated. Change cruise, go from center offline to switch line.
I have been enjoying the Headwind 330. Can't wait until proper VNAV is implemented in the fly-by-wire. Is that... So is the Headwind 330... Oh, shh.
We've just reached our cruising altitude for the flight. As you begin to settle in, I do want to remind you to please keep your seat elbows clear of company aisle as the flight attendants will be coming through the cabin with galley cards shortly. Also, one more reminder to please refrain from congregating to the front galley where the flight deck door is located. Thank you.
That's pretty spicy right there. What was I saying? Somebody asked a question. I forget what it was. Oh, the Headwind 330. Is that what XP72 was flying last night into St. Martin? Was that the Headwind A330? I know nothing about that airplane other than the couple of minutes I got to tune in live to see XP72 flying it last night. I'm not aware of any 330, so I'm assuming that's the one you're referring to. And honestly, I can't even comment on it because I have no information on it whatsoever. All right, let me reboot this here. Hopefully it doesn't crash the stream. Let's see here. How does the Phoenix compare to the TOLUS 319 or Flight Factor 320? How does the Phoenix compare? I'd say it's very comparable. And honestly, there are some things in the TOLUS airplanes, whether it be the 321 or the 319, that actually have a few updated ECAM procedures when you start getting into some hardcore engine out and alternate law failure, things like that. Not saying the Phoenix is wrong, it's just over time Airbus continuously updates procedures and techniques for certain things, and sometimes those ECAMs actually get updated as well. And Tolis has some, and I'm trying to remember, I don't quote me, but I think Tolis has a more updated order in which some steps are taken during an engine failure. I can't remember for a fact if that was it or not, but I remember when we did the last check ride prep stream, I tried both airplanes out, and I thought that the Tolis actually had a little bit updated ECAM when it came to that. Not saying Phoenix was wrong, because it was right during that time period, but the airplanes that I fly, and you know, I'm tailoring my knowledge for you guys basically on what I experience on my aircraft, on my equipment. Now, this can vary across airline to airline. It can vary across country to country, fleet to fleet. It can even vary within the fleet of my own airline. So what I say isn't always like it's 100% this way all the time. It can change a lot, but I distinctively remember selecting Tolis for some of those reasons. It's alone there. So Tolis is a very, very viable airplane. There's nothing wrong with the Tolis birds at all. And in fact, hold on, let me see if I can reset this. I will be doing a training event next month. So we will be doing another check ride prep, although it's not the big check ride with all engine failures. The sim event that I have to do next month is called a loft or line-oriented flight training event. Basically, you fly A to B, and there's something that comes up, and you got to work through this problem and then continue the flight, and hopefully you pass. But that'll be coming up next month, so we'll be trying to recreate that either before the sim, and then also whatever situation that I get in that sim event, I'll recreate it for you guys after I've completed it, because the way it works is they have several scenarios that you can be selected for. So going into the sim, I won't know what scenario to expect. I just have here's all the possible scenarios you can expect. I don't know which one I'll get. So I might do one or two for you guys on stream beforehand, and then whichever one I do get, I'll make sure to do that post sim so you guys can see what I work through as well. This should be fun. This bus looks cleaner compared to the Phoenix. The Herald, absolutely it is. This one, this is the Azobel exterior model and interior model as well. But it being squeaky clean kind of plays into it being a Neo. I do hope that when, if ever, they do get a dedicated model for the fly-by-wire, I do hope that it is indeed kept nice and clean, because most of the Neos that you see, at least in the US anyway, are newer aircraft, so they are cleaner typically. So that would be nice if they can keep some of that clean look to it. I'm actually going to go on this angle here. What's going on with we got a ton of people talking on that sim chat. Turn that off. Not off, but there we go. Straight out of Toulouse. There you go, Randy. That's a beautiful shot right there. If you're type rating for a 320 IA or CFM, would you fly the Neo as well? Yes, you can fly. So the way, at least for me personally, my type rating covers all of them, 19, 20, 21, and the Neos. So even the XLRs that I don't think there's been any deliveries yet. But I've received training material for XLR aircraft. So basically, I don't have to take a new type ride for that. I just have to do some online training, whatever it may be. They may introduce some sim events or something in your recurrent. You might be updated, do some updated stuff in your sim event. The type rating covers it all. In theory, does it cover the 318 as well? Steven, I was talking about this the other night. It does. It does, believe it or not. So it does cover the 318. However, in order to fly a 318, if you have, I think we came to the basis of steep approach mode, you have to have special training for that. But theoretically, it's not a new type. So at least the one that I have. Appreciate the info, very much amazing, with lots of in-depth options on both sims. I have the 321 X.11. Stampede, yeah, the 321's a phenomenal airplane. I love that 321. Have I ever flown a 318? No, I've never flown a 318, Randy. Never. I think the last operator to have them was it US Airways? But I never flew a 318. So would you be allowed to do stuff like Boston to Heathrow, at which point becomes a long haul? Yes. Of course, yes. So when you start doing, it depends on the airline and the company specific way they do things. It's getting a little bumpy up here. Let's go ahead and turn that seatbelt sign back on. It's definitely getting some chop up here. Santa Ana winds.
With you. I had lost you there for a bit. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
The voice servers crashed, so they just came back. They must have had to recycle them. Go ahead and continue, President. Giving you a turn here in a couple of miles.
But anyway, so
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
as far as the transatlantic stuff, that you have to be trained on per your company. So some companies may do it differently. They may say, hey, all of our transatlantic routes are going to be out of this hub. So every pilot based in this hub, let's say New York, for example, all of you are going to be trained on transatlantic. That means the only pilots that can do transatlantic are coming from that base. Now, that may pigeonhole an operator, so they may then change the way they do that. Say, okay, if you're based either in this base here or in this base, you guys are all qualified for transatlantic stuff. Everybody else, you can only do either domestic or South America, whatever. Some airlines may train everybody the same, so everybody can do whichever. That's the most common, typically, because in that scenario, they can pick and choose pilots to fill flights that they don't really pigeonhole themselves. Oh, well, you're not qualified to do that route, so now we have to cancel the flight because we don't have anybody. If everybody's trained equally, then they can plug and play anybody where they want to go. But that's very much an operator-specific thing, and it can vary, like I said, from airline to airline all over the world. Oceanic training is more like a class than a whole rating. Of course, yeah. It's for us, it's an iPad presentation. So it's good luck. Here's your iPad. Watch the video, and you're good to go. I'm really getting fond of flying an X-Plane 12. Mike's Basement, are you? You know what? I was ready to fire up X-Plane 12 on this stream. I put the vote out there. I had Tola's 319 versus FlyByWire, and FlyByWire ended up winning by a slim margin. But I was fully prepared to fire up the old X-Plane 12 and give it a shot. Speaking of it, are any Orbix sceneries compatible with 12 yet? I haven't even Googled it. I'm sure I could find out myself, but since I have 400 of you lovely souls here watching this live stream, are there any Orbix sceneries fully compatible with 12 yet? I really want a 220, but man, X-Plane. Yeah, so what is it? Hot Start doing the 220 and X-Plane 12? You know what? That's going to be an interesting airplane. I'd be interesting to see how that pans out. I'll be very interested to see how it pans out. Any tips for math and physics exams for Air Baltic Academy assessment? Mantha Esports, unfortunately, no. I do not have any tips for that. I'm not familiar with the Air Baltic Academy assessment, but just practice. Practice. Get a tutor, maybe? I don't know. Math was never my stronghold anyway. The longer you stay away from X-Plane, it's almost impossible to go back.
Now, down to 140, envoy 3317.
There are, but I can't get a definite answer whether there are issues with water levels and trees. Okay, Mike. Yeah, the last time I was in X-Plane, I had my Orbix California there, but it had like double overlaid some of the, like I saw like double trees, and it just looked extra cluttered, and I think it really impacted performance too. You love math, Steven?
Contact Las Vegas approach now 135.0.
135.0, have a nice day.
Hot Star and same div, so the 220 will probably be incredible. Again, it's going to be an X-Plane. Yeah, I would have loved to seen them bring it to Microsoft, but I understand if there's, I don't know. I don't know if I fully believe Microsoft can't support all the features they want to bring to the platform. I don't know, though. I'm not a dev, but I start seeing things like, and this is kind of you all know how I feel about the Leonardo, at least how its release went. But the Leonardo is very, very complex, and it runs a lot of stuff outside of the sim as well. So like you have your whole load manager, Fly the Mad Dog. So if you want to have engine diagrams and all that, I don't see how it's impossible to work that. You look at the Phoenix, they got their own app that launches when you launch the airplane. I feel like there could be ways around it, but maybe it's just a very steep hill to climb, and it would require too much time. And like I said, time is very valuable, so maybe they don't have the monetary support or time to put into that kind of development for Microsoft. But it would be awesome. I would be all over it if it was. I think the hot start devs just hate Microsoft. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, me too, Douglas. I wish they would. I would love to see, I mean, you know, TFDI, you know, I also don't agree with the whole pay now or for 2,500 copies, whatever. But that's, look, I'm not a diehard MD-11 fan either. If it was an airplane that I was after, like a 727, oh my goodness, I would pay whatever it, I would start a fundraiser for that airplane. But they had some very complex airplanes in P3D, so I'll be very interested to see how they bring those types of technologies to Microsoft as well. Hot Start says Microsoft maybe probably, but X-Plane 12 first. Okay, well at least maybe it's on the radar anyway. I recently got the FS Labs for P3D, and while the sim is outdated, the FS Labs is truly fantastic. Oh yeah, the FS Labs is fantastic. They're supposed to be bringing their airplane to Microsoft, right? Wasn't that the word on the street back in the day? Let's see. Sword, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Says, I'm a diehard X-Plane fan, but in all honesty, the sim is a bit unstable and the weather engine needs work. It will get there, but needs work at this moment in time. That's kind of where I'm at. You know, the last time I flew it, it just seemed like I honestly thought 11 with all the add-ons looked just as good, if not better, and you had all the compatibility. But, you know, time will fix that. I think time will definitely fix that, so I'm with you there. But the weather, you bring up the weather, and the weather is such a huge factor for me. We all have little preferences and things that we want to see done in the sim, and for me, the simulation of a living, breathing weather environment is huge, and Microsoft brings that by default. I mean, I have 0 weather add-ons, and I mean the sim is just beautiful. Even there on the ground in John Wayne, you saw we had some rain move in and we had rain move away. It's just a very dynamic environment to fly in, and that's huge. And while I think X-Plane may get there, it's just not there yet. Waiting for my winning lottery ticket, then get to level D sim all the way. There you go, Douglas. Hey, you'd be disappointed though. Anybody that thinks all the level D sims are the best things since sliced bread, honestly, the level D sims are great for procedures. That's what they're really there for. The level D sims are really there for procedural training, systems training, task management, all of that stuff. The sim, short of the airports, and this is in the newest sims that are out there that we have, the airports and the surrounding areas look pretty good. They look like, I'd say, X-Plane 11 with ortho. But once you get away from that immediate airport area, you'd just be looking at green tiles down here. The clouds are nothing like this. The clouds are worse than X-Plane 11 clouds. In fact, the clouds are probably more on par with default FSX clouds, even in the latest and greatest level D simulators that we use for training. I would even wager to say they might even be worse than FSX default. Basically, they're gray blobs, and you're either in them or you're not. And the screen is either all gray or it's not. And most every training event that we do, the sim looks so terrible that it's just all gray anyway. So yes, we have visuals for taxiing, breaking out, seeing approach lights, all that good stuff. But all the flying that you do is typically always done in a cloud, so it's just all gray screen all the way around you, or it's at night. So the clouds are Minecraft clouds. Yeah, next time I'll try to get some pictures. I've posted them before for members, but when I go into the sim next month, I'll see if I can get some more footage for you. I have to see who's doing my event. Hopefully it's a buddy of mine, and maybe I can get some authorization to show you all some stuff. But the level D sims are great for procedures, but that's what they're for, you know. Even hand flying in a level D sim, does it fly? You get the idea. But it does not necessarily fly like the airplane does. Now, performance, yes. You know, fuel burns, climb rates, drag coefficients, yes, that's all there. That works like the real airplane. But as far as physically moving the stick around, and it's not quite there. Kevin, thank you for the $10 super chat, my friend. Appreciate that. No message with it, but I really appreciate your support on the channel here. Thank you so much, man. Are some of your co-pilots aware of your channel? I'm sure they are. Aviator Trev, I'm not sure. You know, I haven't ran into anybody that's called me out on it or anything like that. So we should probably think about starting down soon. I don't think... Am I still in LA Center's airspace? Let me come over here.
325 Charlie Juliet, Hoffman reporting P-Class 5,500.
What's this?
7,000 over gas.
Radar, departure.
Altimeter 3004 and expect visual runway 25.
I don't know if I'm still in this guy's airspace or not, but this is pretty cool. I like how it has all these frequencies here. Let's pull up. Let's do some flying stuff here.
1914 at Circus, cleared ILS 25 left.
We'll go ahead and turn them down. I think I'm out of there. Synaptic are doing a good 220 for Microsoft. They post some... Really? I haven't even heard of that developer. All right. Navigraph. Here we go. Let's go to our 2 page. Oakland. 10-9. 10-9. There it is. I was going to say, that doesn't look like Oakland. There we go. I'm just about to leave his airspace. All right, I'll leave him on then. All right, 30 is what we're landing on. I hate saying 30. 30.
Heavy, Los Angeles Center Squad
Approach.
0502 ident.
ILS 30, pin U, star, MZO3, pin U. Let's pull it up, see what we got here. May J at 280, 220 knots.
99 Heavy, Los Angeles Center Squawk 1566 ident.
My jaw 220, 280 knots. Check.
Ident, United 99 Heavy.
I get a tad nervous when the pilot says, "What's this?" Lol.
Kelly Simmer, thank you for the $5 super chat, man.
Arrival.
Yes, indeed. What's this? Yeah, 2 things you never want to hear your pilot say. It's, what's this? And oh shit. Pardon my French. Those are 2 things you never want to hear your pilot say. All right, well, we're going to request ATIS. I think it's smooth down here, so let's go ahead and turn it off. We'll turn it off now. We'll try to let them use the lab while we can. There's our company message. Let's go over here. Received. AOC. Has FlyByWire implemented secondary. Not yet, Douglas. Not yet.
Wind 160 at 16, runway 9.
METAR, Oakland, Prince U, 200 at 15. Lightning in California?
22 to maintain
distant west, blah, blah, blah. 10 miles. Let's go ahead and do that. RIP. Let's go over here to perf. Next phase, next phase. Here we go. Broken at 3, 10 miles, 2984 is the altimeter. I love being able to print this thing and put it right here. This is so cool, so handy. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
American 688, make sure you're squawking 0502.
Oops. All right, approach 30. Minimums are 209 for the straight in. So let's put 209 on there. 209 is set. ILS 30. VAP is 132. We're landing config full. That sounds good to me. As far as perf data, let's go back here. Let's put oak here.
Oh,
so
you're east of Drake.
Distance.
You're still too far out. Keep the squawk code.
280.
Give me a call in about 100
that's
miles.
fine. 288 on the managed. Everything looks good there. Do we have a...
Yeah, once you get closer.
I don't have a time to TOD yet, but let's do this manually. So MZO at or above 28. My jaw at or above 22. We're gonna let the VNAV do VNAV things. So we'll keep an eye on it. These are at or aboves. These aren't hard altitudes, so I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt here.
1045 radar contact.
I'm not gonna change anything in the McDo, so I'm gonna let the airplane attempt its VNAV. What happened to my star? Oh, there it is. Let's make this full screen since this is the last page we need here. So we're at or aboves, and then are we going out to Freeney or MyCAF? Let's see, all the way down to MyCAF. And then we join there. So MyCAF is at 5. So theoretically, we could set 5,000 here. I'm not going to start down until we get closer, but we'll set 5. We'll see what happens. Edgar Southwood, thank you for the $2 super chat, my friend. Says, love the channel. Always learn something new. Appreciate that, man. Glad you're learning. That means I'm doing my job. Glad you're enjoying the content. So glad to have you on board, man. Thank you for that support. Appreciate you. Does fly-by-wire still print? Yes, it does. It still prints it off.
325 Charlie Juliet, descend and maintain.
Do love that Neo look. Look at those clouds. So good. It's bad in Cali. We had to shut down all the servers at one of our Sacramento. Oh, wow, really?
Just wondering what approach we could expect for Burbank.
264, expect the...
I'm a government employee, so he loves our paperwork. Oh, yeah, definitely, Douglas.
RNAV Yankee 8.
So does American 737 pilots. They love their paperwork. It still prints full-size dot matrix. Wastes so much paper. It's unbelievable.
310 Delta Mike. Join the Echo 2 departure. Climbing same level 180.
Using SimBridge, you can even have that METAR printed on your in-real-life printer. Chaos, I saw that option. I saw that option in the app when I had it on the desktop or whatever. So do you like connect to print? That's pretty cool. I used to have one set up for the FS Labs to print ACARS messages, but I don't have that printer set up anymore. I ran out of USB ports. Oh.
Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. Oakland Center offline. Switch to advisory 122.8.
Over to Unicom. Thanks for the ATC. Springs 2901. We'll see ya. See ya. Oh, 29, 22.8 is up. We're looking good. Let's enjoy some views here as we get ready to come on down for our arrival. Do you think we will ever be able to use a weather radar in a study level aircraft? Hopefully. I think so. Just takes time, man. Dot matrix printer on the Max. I know, man. It's awful, dude. It's awful. And it's just, it's crazy. They have the old phones in there. I put a picture on the members only. All right, what am I doing here? Let's go over here. That's fine. Well, we'll get a few tunes in here before we start down. Now I'm gonna need like radio in the fly-by-wire, my iPad. Kevin coming in with another $10 super chat. Thank you so much, man. It says, unrelated to the Airbus, on the PMDG 737, any idea why the glide path is capturing instead of glide slope? Can't figure it out. Thanks for the great content. So I laugh, Kevin, because I myself have the exact same question. So I know where you're coming from and what someone has already mentioned in chat there. So glide path is for an RNAV approach. I understand this. Fully understand the difference between glide path and glide slope. When I fly the PMDG 737, I think the last one I flew was the 600, I selected ILS approach. I had the courses and the nav radios all set up, and it still said glide path and FAC on the FMA. I don't know why, but I don't know if maybe it's a bug or if I'm setting it up properly. So Kevin, I appreciate your $10 super chat. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I have the very same question. In fact, just the last stream I did in the 737, we were landing in, was it Philly? And we couldn't get the glide slope. No glide. It was no glide slope. It was glide path. I don't know why. Need Flight Deck to Sim to come in and answer that? Yes, I do. Because I know for a fact I selected ILS. I had both radios set up. I had both courses set up. But it just goes right into glide path capture. I don't know why. Kevin, yeah, you're not crazy, man. It's happened to me a couple times. I think one time I actually got it to be ILS. I'm like, oh, that's cool, all right. But I don't know. Gonna need a Boeing driver to come in here. I need old Flight Deck to Sim. It happens if you select approach before you have the localizer signal. Oh, wait a second. So if you select approach, so if I select approach on the, what is that stupid thing called? MCP? MCP, if you select approach before having a signal, it'll go to glide path. Interesting. Select VOR first, then select approach. Wow, that's straight out of 1930, my friends. Yeesh. So Kevin, try that next time. When you're on the approach, where you're getting ready for the approach, maybe select VOR first. Make sure you have a signal with the glide slope and the localizer, and then try arming it. Let me know if that works. Because yes, Microsoft doesn't give you a localizer signal until very close. I've noticed that. It's only like, what, 10 miles or 15 miles? In real life, you can intercept, you can get a localizer. I've seen them in Chicago out over the water, like 40 miles out, I see a localizer. When I'm that far out, though, I don't even arm it. I stay in nav mode because airplane will have a tendency to oscillate. All right, 6.2 on the gas. I'm gonna trust the airplane on this one. We're gonna see. I'm gonna start the TOD about 5 prior to what's predicted on the glass, so about another 10 miles or so, and we're gonna roll with it. You shouldn't need to do loc first, but it will help you avoid this issue. Okay, other Jason. Next time we're in the 7-3, we'll give it a shot. Captain AB, man, 7-3, man, it just makes me frustrated. I had really cooled off on my 737. I don't want to say hate, because I don't hate the 737, but I cooled off on my 737 distaste, you know? But then when I had a jump seat on that freaking thing for 4 hours from, where was I? LaGuardia to Dallas? Dude, I am not a fan of the 737 right now. My back is still hurting. Matter of fact, I have a little lumbar pillow on my chair right now because my back still hurts from that jump seat. I don't know if I'm just getting old. Maybe that's the problem. But either way, man, that airplane is old. Cornelius Nimbus to the 737 rocks, man. I know. I'm sure there's going to be some 73 drivers in here that love the airplane. And it's good. Look, it does the same mission, same job as a 320. They're good competitors. They get the job done. But at the end of the day, oh, look at that. I'll take my Airbus any day of the week, twice on Sunday. Look at that turn right there. Beautiful. All right, we are about 10 miles out. Basically stuck in the closet on a 7.3. Yeah, that's how you feel, man. That's how you feel. And then you can't close the jump. I almost smashed my phone because I had my phone on the closet part. And then when you go to stow the jump seat, if you have anything in that little closet area, that's where the jump seat sits, so it will crack anything that's there. How does vSpirit track the flight? They are tracking us via VAMSys, which you bring up a good point here. Let's pop it up and let's take a look. And if you guys are interested in vSpirit, which I highly recommend, again, if you're thinking about dabbling in a virtual airline, !vSpirit in chat. Well, Nightbot will give you a link. You can head to the website, get all the information you need. But I support the guys and gals strongly over there, and they do a great job. So here we are. I'm going to start down, though. Let me start down real quick. We're going to have to change this song. I don't know what's going on with this. I thought this was Rihanna for a second. I thought this was that Umbrella song. I don't know what the music has got on store for us today, but I thought this was a Rihanna song. All right. Yes, vSpirit is tracking us via VAMSys. You can see us right here. There we are. We're coming down. Spirit Wings 2901. You can see our A cars. It's locked everything up. Ooh, there's an announcement happening.
If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated until the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please press the cabin.
Umbrella, Ella. Yeah, Jamie, exactly. So you can see here it tracked everything from the stand, the tail number, engine position, flaps position, runway. I don't know why it says flap 4. Maybe that's 3 on the ground. Climb pitch. It'll track everything. So it's pretty sweet, man. It gives you purpose to fly. I love it. Love the operation. I was looking at my pilot profile. I think we're about over 40 hours or so. Building that rank. If you're into that, you want to build rank too. It's a good way to do it. So vSpirit is looking good. How's our descent? We're actually looking pretty good. We're a little bit fast there. Let's get a little spoid brake. Help her come back to 280 there for my jaw. We're on path though, so this is being a traditional Airbus, ignoring the speed. Did you jump seat on AA or Southwest? American, Brian. American. It was American 7.3. A new 800. You guys are Airbus. You probably drive cars with automatic transmissions too. No. Well, my truck is an automatic, but I had a manual for years. I used to race cars as well. So, yes, I think that's the ultimate millennial anti-theft device is a manual transmission. Runar says, what do you think about electric airplanes in real life? Runar, you know, I don't rule it out as becoming something of the future, but I wouldn't want to take that thing through a lightning storm. I wouldn't want to take that thing through a lightning storm. Wouldn't want to be on an electric airplane. I mean, the Airbus was called the electric jet. But another speed. We'll keep the speed brake out. Now we're getting high on path here. We'll keep it out. Pegasus considers slats 1 plus F to be a separate flap mode. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking, Tony. So flaps 3 is really 4 on the ground. I also used to drive a manual, but prefer the Airbus. No, I was not a race car driver, Tranquil, but in college we had drag racing teams. I was all about it, man. Even in high school, going back. But I was drag racing. I didn't do any of the like Grand Prix or track stuff that a lot of people really enjoy. I was more about the American muscle car. I love my Mustang manual. I had multiple Mustangs here on Phoenix. Had an 04 Turbinator Cobra, had an 06, had a 2000. What was the last one I had? I think the last one I had was a 2009 or 10. But I mean, back at like, when did they change the body style? 06? To like the newer one, not the new one, but like when they went from the 04, maybe it was 05. But the 2005 ones, man, 300 horsepower GT, that was like a big deal. Now these Mustangs are coming off the lot at like 500. It's like, wow, pretty crazy. You used to have to do a lot to your car to get over 500 horsepower. Nowadays, you just chip it, or you just get a Tesla and beat everybody. Freaking torque in the Tesla is unbelievable. That's what you get with the electric. It was 05. Okay. Swarm, you have an 04 Mach 1? Nice, dude. Fox body or nothing, Bob Lee. I know you Fox body folk are crazy. Y'all love your Fox bodies. I never was a huge Fox body fan, personally. All right, we'll go ahead and fade this song out, and we'll get ready for our arrival. Although I'm curious what this song is. Hold on. I had an interesting thumbnail picture. All right. Let's listen to this one, and then we'll close it up. Let's see where we are. So we're on speed, which is good. Getting ready to go through 18. VNav is doing a pretty good job. We're doing a pretty good job here. We got our LS push buttons on. We'll be flaps full, manual brakes, full reverse. What were the winds down there? Let's double check. It was 200 at 1.5, so we'll have a little bit of a crosswind for sure. Tesla's all over the place in Phoenix, and every single one of the drivers thinks they're John freaking Force. I believe it, man. I believe it. All right, Magic Barrel ref key is 29090 according to that thing, but down there it's 29084. We'll set 29084 once, twice, and 3 times. Set. Seatbelt sign is on. Let's get after it. Let's get a train on as well as we descend into Oakland. Oh man, we got to get it. All right, so we got to get a butter on this one. I'm going to grease it out for vSpirit here. We got to get some bonus points. I got to make up for that 500 we had last time. Tesla's ROP. I had an 8 Trans Am, one 08 Z28, and 3 Corvettes. Now I drive a 2011 Grand Marquis. Sucks to get old. Eagle One, I hear you, man. The Trans Am, a Firebird, yeah, the Trans Am WS6 package was one of my, I always wanted one of those. Never ended up getting one, but I always wanted a WS6 Trans Am with the performance package. I thought they were sweet looking. The black, I wanted to call it the Blackbird. I love my STI manual. There you go, man. I did racing school with John Force back in the early 90s with Buck Baker, and Buck said that Force was a very fast driver but couldn't figure out how to turn the steering wheel. That could end up being a problem, no doubt. I had a Silver 03 Eagle One. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right, we're looking good. Let's go into XP72 view here. Oh, I just got a notification in 30 minutes. Flight Deck to Sim is going to be flying the DC-3. He's going to be flying a DC-3 today? I might have to pop in on that stream. See how he handles that. Those Boeing drivers, man, they like to work hard. Of course, he's flying the DC-3, but if he's got it figured out, maybe I can figure it out and then do a little... Well, we could fly it in VAAL, maybe? Is there any DC-3 VAAL? I bet you we could do some Pan Am stuff, maybe. Or maybe not Pan Am, but Piedmont virtual. They got the Pan Am for DC-3 livery, don't they, Chris Duper? That would be sweet. Oh, not at the moment, Piedmonter? You don't have any Pan Ams? DC-3? We had a DC-3, right? Surely. Pan Am DC-3. Yes. Yeah, an old school livery. Ah, yet. I got you. All right, let's bump up the juice here. Waiting on liveries that don't suck. Well, there you go. Piedmonter's in the chat. He's one of the admins for vSpirit, one of the founders as well. So if you have any questions, now would be the time. Thank you, Piedmonter, for joining and stopping by the stream, man. I got to learn that MD-80 a little bit better. I embarrassed myself on that takeoff in Chicago, so I gotta refocus and we'll get back in it. But I do have an itch to fly that 80 again. I've been thinking about it. Definitely been thinking about it. All right, my rib at or below 10. I got to hand it. The Fly-by-Wire has been doing a decent job here on the VNav. 240 knot speed restriction. So what I'm actually going to do here, we're going to just select 240 right now. I'm going to select 240 on the speed as I get ready to go through 10,000. We'll activate and confirm the approach phase. That has been done. And as soon as we get a little bit closer, we'll turn our lights on as well. Let me get flight recorder ready. My friend has a yellow 86 Camaro IROC Z. That thing was amazing. Ooh, yeah. Ali Nikos, how you doing? I'm doing well. I am studying the high-speed aerodynamics that EASA loves to make it. EASA loves to make it impossible. Yes, I have heard that, and I've seen it with my own friends that have gone through EASA, the training with EASA. They do like to make it very difficult. All right, here we go through 10,000 feet. We'll get our lights on for now. No ATC on, so we'll turn them all on. You hear that little bit of, you hear that wind noise? Oh, that's awesome. They've got the sound for the lights coming out, the mini speed brakes. Flight attendants prepare for landing as we come through 10,000. Lights are on. But I picked up on that little bit of wind noise as those lights come out. Those fairing lights, which won't be coming up. They won't be around for much longer from what I gather. I think some of the new Neos, you can't see it, I guess, on this external model. Oh, there it is right there. So on the new Neos from Airbus, there's an option that these lights are actually going to be fairing mounted now in the belly. So they'll be right here, kind of recessed, so you won't have any more mini speed brakes, which is sad, but it is what it is. All right, we're at 10,000 feet, doing a good job on VNav. We're coming all the way down. A little bit of an oscillation here, but not terrible. Look at that view. First car bought as an airline pilot was a 99 black WS6 Trans Am. Thought I had made it. Now I'm just old. RC Flyer 62. That's awesome, man. 99 black WS6 Trans Am. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look up some old Trans Am YouTube videos, see what I missed out on. Did you use the no smoking switch to notify the cabin crew? No, Jamie. In the Airbus, it's modern technology, so we actually have a flight attendant call button up here. You can actually call multiple sections of the cabin. In the 737, however, they don't have that, so you got to toggle the seatbelt sign or the no smoking sign or the chime switch, which they have now deemed as the new switch, even though the chime switch really used to be something else, but now it's just a chime switch or chime only. Will be placarded on the overhead of the 73. Aviator, nice. Yeah, so I ended up going with the 04 Mustang over the WS6. The only reason I did that is because I liked the interior of the Mustang better than WS6. The SVT Terminator Cobra, baby, right? That Whipple, no, it wasn't a Whipple, was it? It was a Ken Bell supercharger. Just awesome sounds. All right, we're getting off topic here. Let's get back to it. We're getting ready to go through some possible icing. So let's go ahead and go engine anti-ice 1 and 2 online. As we go into the clouds, we're 240 on the speed. The airplane's doing a great job at VNAV, so we'll keep monitoring. Thrust idle, next constraint is at 7,000 feet. Eerie looking clouds, indeed, Mike's basement. I like to turn the no smoking signs off during cruise in the Mad Dog and the INI 310. Yeah, well, that's how they would do it on those airplanes back then too. I'm sure they did on the Mad Dog and the 310. Because the 310, does the 310 have a calls panel? I don't remember now on the overhead if it actually has that calls panel. Here, say the TA, the Trans Am interior is awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Stock, it came with easily upgraded Whipper Ken Bell. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I bought mine with a Ken Bell on it. I think it was Ken Bell. I have to go back and look now. But it wasn't a stock. It was highly modified. All right, 6,000 at or above for my shin. Right on path, right on profile. Doing good. I'm going to turn this brightness down a little bit here as we enter the clouds. Turn it down, looking good. I was really liking that. Oh, into the rain again. Look at that. Gosh, I love these effects in this sim. This is that living, breathing, atmospheric environment we were talking about earlier in stream. This to me is worth more than other things that X-Plane 12 can provide. You know, this right here, this living, breathing environment. Is the radio altimeter on all the time? If not, how do you know when it will come on at 2500? It will be displayed. But technically, the radar altimeter is always running. So you can, and I've actually seen this, you can fly right over the top of somebody on a track or on an airway, and it will trip the rad out. You'll actually hear at 1,000. Or something if someone flies right under you at 1,000 feet and you hit it just right. So the radar altimeter is always working per se, but it's not actively displaying until you reach 2,500 feet. Now with the 5G NOTAMs that are in effect now, with all the release of 5G and all that stuff around airports, there's a new call that we've implemented for our operator is radio altimeter alive if the airplane doesn't automatically pick it up and say 2,500. Most of our fleet is equipped to have an auto call out at 2,500. That signals that the rad out is alive and displayed on the PFD. If it doesn't happen, we got to double check, make sure we're getting valid rad out information, especially flying into 5G NOTAM airports. Tony Johns, yes, it can be used as a chime if you don't have a chime. So yeah, it can be used for cabin communication. That's why you'll see it flicker on and off. Here we go, into the rain. We're out at 5,000. We're going to maintain 5. And then I'll tell you what, we're going to connect the dots here. Since we don't have any ATC, let's just do this. We'll go from Fernie, move on. Beautiful. We're looking good. Move on. Let's pull out our approach. To 30. Move on is at 2,700 and Mito is at 2,000. We're at or above 4,100 there, so we're going to set 4. Actually, we'll set 3 and we'll stand by to descend. We're close enough. Let's go ahead and start down. We'll go open descent 3,000 feet. You can see we have peaks mode on this fly-by-wire, which is really cool. So we got the highest terrain displayed and the lowest terrain depicted at 600. So the highest, which would be that solid green right now, is about 1,600 feet. All right, now we're down to 3,000. Let's go ahead and pull an Airbus maneuver here. We'll go approach autopilot 2. We are glide slope blue Loke Star. It's already captured, and we are just above the glide slope. So we got to watch this. This is a scenario where we could potentially get high. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do a couple things. So I'm going to come right back to 180 because there's no ATC on. Let's come back to 180. And I'm going to go vertical speed. This is try at your own risk here. You can get into trouble like this. But I'm going to go vertical speed 1500. I'm going to try to catch. I want to try to catch that glide slope here, so we don't end up getting high on slope. A little bit of spoid brake action coming out. We're going to go Throttletek cam on. There's our glide slope star. Beautiful. Glide slope star has been captured. Go around altitude. We will set 4,000 feet. 4,000 feet is set. Just having a hard, or 4,000 white. That's a Neo thing, and it's properly displayed right there. 4,000 white is set. We're having a hard time slowing down, folks, so let's go gear down. That's your biggest speed brake on the airplane. Gear's coming down early. I got a little bit distracted on this approach. Let's go ahead and start the recording. Let's see if we can get down and stable here, because we got to be stable. VFE next -10, flaps 1. This is going to be tight as far as hope P monitor's still not here, because I may not meet the 1,000-foot stable.
2,500.
So there's that call. So if the airplane didn't call that, we'd have to say radar artillery alive, but it made it. It's alive. We're looking good. There's VFE next -10, flaps 2. At this point, we'll just go ahead and manage all the way back. We're close enough. We'll stow the speed brakes. Speed brakes are armed. And we'll just let the airplane slow on profile now. There's VFE next -10, flaps 3. Oakland traffic, Spearwings 2901. We're on a 5-mile final for runway 30, Oakland. VFE next -10, flaps full. Landing checklist. Cabin crew advised auto thrust is in speed mode. ECAM memo. Landing all green. Landing checklist is complete. We are clear to land. 30. Let's hand fly this ILS, shall we? We'll keep auto thrust on. I'm going to hand fly the approach, though. Autopilot's off. We'll let the auto thrust do its thing. Cat 1. Birdman. No, it's not normal, but I was a little high and fast, so get stable, though. Nice crosswind here. 30 knots, jeez. Starting to see the runway up there. Man, that wind is... I really got to come over.
$1,000.
All right, we're 1,000 feet stable, clear to land. Recording is on, and double check that. So we'll let the auto thrust do its job today. We'll see how auto thrust handles. Now we got to come back to the right as that wind dies off a little bit. Wow, why am I picking all these airports with like 20+ knot crosswinds? Wow, that's a nice breakout view though. Goodness, that's beautiful. Straight, direct, 19 knots. Like 90 degrees direct crosswind at 19 knots. 17 knots now. Probably should have selected auto brakes on that. Real quickly, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to select auto brake low.
400.
We've talked about that. Ooh, losing it. Going to a tailwind. Power, please.
300. 100 above.
Let's get back up on that glide slope so they're not coincident. Oh, here comes a nice little gust.
200.
Come back to the left.
Minimum.
All right, so we're going to lose that glide slope. We're on the PAPI now. 1 dot low,
100.
which is all right. We'll go for the butter on this one. Whoa
50,
there, player.
30, 20, retard, 10, 10, 5.
Ooh, get back on center line. Rudder? No rudder? Okay, there's a rudder. Interesting. Reverse screen, we're decelling. Had a hard time maintaining lateral control on that one. But we'll reassess. Stow it. That seemed all right. We'll take the reverse high speed here. We got to start with the chrono. You called spice, we got spice. Oh, this isn't a turn off, rip. You see nothing. I thought this was a high speed. You see nothing. Nobody sees anything. Here we are. We're just on the taxiway. Doo-doo-doo. I don't always go off-roading on stream, but I do it with 500 people watching, so nobody saw a thing. All right, let's go ahead and clean up the airplane. We'll stow those, bring those up to 0. We'll get on the center line. And let's go ahead and get our lights secured. And we don't need any more engine anti-ice on the ground. We'll turn that off. Everything looks good. Strobe into auto. And we'll take it into the gate like this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Oakland. Did we get a landing rate on that? I'm not even sure if it was, if it picked up, because I know Fly Live has been doing some weird things. But we're going to take a look at that replay. I don't know why I couldn't get her to come back to the right there. It seemed like it was really... It seemed like I don't know. It seemed like I was really struggling to stay left. Maybe I just suck. Who knows? 220 or something? That's not bad. At least it wasn't a 500. We got to get our engine shut down so we can get the single engine taxi points, but we need 3 minutes here on the cooldown. So we'll ride it into the gate like this. At least I didn't have to declare not an emergency. Exactly. Exactly. Classic Microsoft rudder, maybe a little bit. Like right now, you see how much tiller I got to use to maintain center line because it's trying to weather vane to the right, which is realistic. I just think it's exaggerated. I think it's just a Microsoft thing. Why do you turn autopilot on, autopilot 2 for approach? Because you always arm the airplane to its highest capabilities, so its lowest minimum. So with everything operating, you always want, on an ILS approach, you want to arm the airplane to its highest capable setting, which in that case would be a Cat 3. So in that case, we have 2 autopilots. They're both functional. We're going to arm both of them. Even though you're not planning on doing an auto land or anything of the sorts. So you always want to put the airplane to its best capability. When I'm flying airway, it defaults to Cat 3 single. Is that because you only have one autopilot on? Cat 3 single is referencing the autopilot channel. So you should see Cat 3 dual if you have both autopilots engaged. Eagle 1, take it easy, man. Thanks for stopping by the stream, my friend. All right, there is 3 minutes, so let's go yellow electric pump on, and we'll shut down number 2. Confirm engine 2, confirmed. We'll kill it. Oh, that's so real. Oh, that spool down. Awesome. Nope, now I'm running out of juice, though. Now, we don't get gate assignments yet in the fly-by-wire, so we're going to just go ahead and park over here at one of these gates. But if you're flying the Phoenix, you'll get it, and you have Hoppy log on for 8 cars, you will get gate messages for vSpirit. Sky, I'm with you, man. Every time I fly this airplane, I'm constantly impressed. That one says southwest. We'll take this one over here. We'll go ahead and kill the taxi light. Now, we'll get bonus points for not using the APU as well. So we're going to come in here. We will do a shutdown like normal or with a ground power because we want all the points possible. Ah, that's not bad right there. I love Oakland. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty good. We don't have a marshaller, so we'll do our cheat mode. Oh, let's get off center line. Bringing her into the gate like so. A little more juice. Close enough. Brakes are set. There's no bonus points for keeping APU off? Ah, it's only pride points there. Dang it. That's alright. In that case, we're already here. Let's just do it this way. We'll go ground power, connect. And will it connect? It won't connect. Do we have to wait for it? Oh, it's been delivered. It's been delivered to engine number 2. Waiting on ground power. This is a dangerous state right here with the engine running. Oh, it might not do it with an engine running. I gotcha. Alright, well, we'll go cold and dark. Let's go ahead and go engine 1 off. We're going to go cold and dark. That comes off. Fuel tank pumps come off.
This parking is too small for your
spooling it down. Beautiful.
The afters are disarmed.
The doors are verified.
Let's take a look at our landing ACARs. That's a sweet sound. It gave us a 192. I will take that. The flight may now be ended. We'll go ahead and file the PIREP. PIREP is filed. So we are completed with our vSpirit. I love that. We'll go ahead and close that application now for our replay. And I'm not sure how this is going to work out. Is there a state I can load? Can I just go right into like a state? Reset. If not, we'll just go into replay mode. I don't know if I can do. There is a state you can select. We need the beacon off for APU. Yeah. Where would you be? Where would you be? The slider. The slider icon. The slider icon. What does that mean? Oh, this thing. Ah. Oh, I don't have any loaded though. Day, night. Aircraft states. Here we go. Confirm. Done. Start switches to start. It's going to load that up. So we'll wait for that to load, and then as soon as that state is completed, we can try replay mode. Let's go ahead and disconnect from VATSIM. Let's go into replay over here. Oh, it's going to take too long. Let's just try the replay out. Ghost mode. Alright. Let's enjoy a replay here in the rain, and then I gotta wrap it up and get out of here myself. 3 o'clock already? Jeez. 3 o'clock. Let me double check something. I gotta say though, very, very smooth, very good experience with the fly-by-wire today. I'm going to scoot us forward here and get closer to the ground. We've had some issues with the experimental in the past. Nothing crazy, but today was actually really, really good. I was very impressed with the fly-by-wire. The sounds, of course, are always phenomenal. So huge shout out to the fly-by-wire team for continuing to develop this airplane. I look forward to seeing it continue to improve. Look at this, the slow slats here, because I would imagine it's the state of the airplane with no hydraulics. Real slow with the slats coming out. That's so cool. We're gonna have to start. We're gonna have to start testing this airplane in some failures at some point. But huge shout out to the fly-by-wire team. Thank you for continuing to update this project. Without you guys, honestly, without fly-by-wire guys, I probably wouldn't be a Microsoft Flight Simulator fan as much as I am, because this team, this crew that put together this airplane is what kept me in Microsoft for all those months and years or months anyways, that the sim desperately needed a more advanced airplane. With that being said, though, thank you all for hanging out with me today on this stream and enjoying the vSpirit operations. I hope we'll catch you again here. Hopefully by the end of this week we'll be doing another stream. We might be back in the Mad Dog. We'll have to take a look at it at some point this week. So everyone who donated, shout out Kevin to, let's see, Kevin, Edgar, I have a list of these here. Callie Simmer, Douglas Phillips with the $50 dono coming in there. The gifted subs, Canyon Runner, Seat 2A. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you for your support. Everyone else that's hanging out with me in the video here today, just smash that like button down for me. Appreciate you. And I'll see you again this week sometime. So until then, stay safe, stay healthy. See yous in chat. I'm V1. We'll catch you on the next one. See ya.